Hey everyone, this is Jessica and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you this beautiful V-stitch beanie in two sizes, medium and large. I'm going to make and show the medium size and tell you the sizes for the larger size. So let's begin making this beautiful beanie. We start by making a magic circle or a magic ring, and then we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This chain 4 is our first double crochet and a chain 1 space. Now again we need to create a double crochet and a chain 1 space. In total we need 12 double crochets and 12 chain 1 spaces in our magic circle, including that chain 4 that is considered as our first double crochet and chain 1 space. So this was my second double crochet. Now chain 1 and again our third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1, fifth double crochet, chain 1, sixth double crochet, chain 1, seventh double crochet, chain 1, 8th double crochet, chain 1, 9th double crochet, chain 1, 10th double crochet, chain 1, 11th double crochet, chain 1, 12th double crochet, and chain 1. So we have our 12 double crochets and 12 chain 1s in between those double crochets in our magic circle. Now pull this yarn tail to close our magic circle, and then to finish round 1, slip stitch on top of that third chain that you had made. So round 1 is complete. Now to begin round 2, I'm going to change colors, but if you wish to, just continue with one color itself, but I would suggest changing colors because this V-stitch looks better with multiple colors. So now to change colors, make a slip stitch in this chain 1 space. This is the first chain 1 space. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. Now don't complete it because we're going to change colors here. So leave this yarn and take your other yarn. I'm going to take this red color here and hook it up and just pull it through that slip stitch, and here we have changed colors. Now again chain 4. Again, this chain 4 is considered as our first double crochet and chain 1 space. So now in this chain 1 space from the round below, we have to work another V-stitch. V-stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 1 and 1 double crochet again. So we have our first double crochet in chain 1 with this chain 4 that we already made. So now again make a double crochet in that same chain 1 space. Again in the next chain 1 space, make a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet, again in the chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in that same chain 1 space. So repeat that all around round 2, and I will meet you back when I'm at the end of this round with the last chain 1. Here I'm at the end of round 2 and I have one more chain 1 space left. So I will work my last V-stitch in that chain 1 space. That is simply a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet again. So that completes my round 2. To finish the round 2, just slip stitch on top of that chain 3. So initially we made chain 4. So out of those chain 4, locate that third chain and make sure you're taking 2 loops, whichever 2 loops you can find of that chain, and make a slip stitch to complete that round. Now again, for the round 3, I'm going to change colors. So for changing colors again, I am going to slip stitch in that next chain 1 space because we are going to work in that chain 1 space. So I will just insert my hook and pull up a loop like that, and just leave that red yarn that I'm working with, and again pick up that green yarn that I had left. I had not cut that yarn because I'm going to run both these yarns together throughout my beanie. Now just take that yarn and pull it through, and that's all. That's how you change colors. Now just pull that previous yarn to tighten it like so, and again make 4 chains, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Again, this chain 4 is our first double crochet and a chain 1 space. Now for this round we are going to make 2 V-stitches in every chain space, meaning 1 double crochet, chain 1 space, again 1 double crochet, chain 1 space, 1 double crochet. So let's see how it is done. So chain 4, already we have 1 double crochet and a chain 1 space. Now again make another in that same chain 1 space. Make sure you're working in that same chain 1 space. So making a double crochet right there. That's our first V-stitch. Now again make a chain 1 space, and again make a double crochet in that same chain 1 space like that. So those are 2 V-stitches in one chain 1 space. Now again in that next chain 1 space we are going to work 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1 and 1 double crochet. So those are 2 V-stitches together. So go ahead and make 2 V-stitches together in each of those chain 1 spaces. Make sure you're not working between those V-stitches. So don't work here. You have to work in between those chain 1 spaces that you created. So my next one will not be here. It will be here in that chain 1 space. So work 2 V-stitches in every chain 1 space through, and I will meet you back when I'm at the end of the round. Here I am at the end of round 3 and I'm left with 1 last chain space here, and we'll work our last double V-stitch here. So just make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. In this round you should have in total 24 V-stitches. So let's count if we have 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's right, we should have 24 stitches, V-stitches in total for round 3. So let's slip stitch on top of that chain 3 that we have to finish this round. Now again, to change colors, I'm going to slip stitch in that first chain 1 space, leaving this color, taking the red one and finishing my slip stitch, pulling that other yarn so that I can work. Now again, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 double crochet and chain 1. Now again in that same chain 1 space, make another double crochet, making a V-stitch. Again in the next chain 1 space, we need to do a V-stitch. So insert your hook and make a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. So for this round you will make one V-stitch in each of these chain 1 spaces that you see. So in that next chain 1 space, make a V-stitch, again in the next one, and in each of the chain 1 spaces you will make a V-stitch. So finish this round and I will be right back with the end of this round. Here I'm at the end of round 4 and I'm going to slip stitch on top of that chain 3 to finish my round, like so. And now again changing colors to green, so leaving that yarn and taking the green yarn and finishing my slip stitch. Now for round 5, again chain 4. This chain 4 is again considered as our first double crochet and chain 1 space. Now again in this very chain 1 space we are going to work 2 V-stitches together like we did in round 3. So now just make a double crochet in that same chain 1 space. So that's our first V-stitch. Now again chain 1 and a double crochet in that same chain 1 space. So that's a 2 V-stitches together stitch, like so. Now in the next chain 1 space, make just one V-stitch. So just double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now in the next chain 1 space again, just make one single V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now in the next chain 1 space again, make 2 V-stitches together, meaning what you did here. So this is your pattern repeat for this round, making 2 V-stitches together in one chain space, then in the next 2 chain spaces making 1 V-stitch in each of the chain 1 spaces. So now once we are done making those 2 individual V-stitches, now again in the next chain 1 space we'll create 2 V-stitches together, that is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. So that's 2 V-stitches together. Now in the next one again make just one V-stitch. Again in the next one just make one single V-stitch. So just repeat this pattern all around, that is 2 V-stitches together, 1 V-stitch in the next chain space and 1 V-stitch in the next chain space, then again 2 V-stitches together in the next chain space, 1 V-stitch in the next, again in the next 1 V-stitch. So 2, 1, 1, that is the pattern repeat for this entire round, and I'll meet you back when I'm at the end of the round. So here I'm almost at the end of round 5 with 3 chain 1 spaces left. So now again you will do your last pattern repeat of making 2 V-stitches together, and the next chain 1 space make just 1 V-stitch, and then again 1 V-stitch in the last chain 1 space. So let's do it. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. That's my 2 V-stitches together in that chain 1 space. Now in the next chain 1 space, 1 single V-stitch, and again in the next last chain 1 space of round 5, 1 single V-stitch, and then to finish the round, like always, slip stitch on top of that chain 3, and there you have your round 5 done. So for round 5 you should have 32 chain 1 spaces in total, so that you have 32 spaces to work with for the next round. So let's cross check if we have 32 stitches, 32 chain 1 spaces. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. So you should have 32 chain 1 spaces to work with for round 5. So in short, you should have 32 V stitches, including these double V stitches that you've done. So count that as 2 V stitches. So count your V stitches, you should have 32 V stitches to work with. Now again, for round 6, I'm going to change colors. And for that, I'm going to slip stitch in that chain 1 space. So here I've changed colors now, and let's begin round 6. Round 6 is pretty simple. Just start with chain 4. Again, considered as our first double crochet and chain 1 space. Now, very simply, just make V stitches in each of the chain 1 spaces for round 6. So again, double crochet, chain 1 done. So just make a double crochet in that same chain 1 space. That's our first V stitch. Now in the next chain 1 space, make another V stitch. That's double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. So in every chain 1 space, make a V stitch and complete this round, and I'll meet you back at the end of this round. So here I'm at the end of round 6, and with that we have finished making the crown part of our hat, and it measures about 6.5 inches. So if you want to make a larger size beanie, just make 13 double crochets in the beginning round, in the first round. Like we made 12 double crochets and 12 chain 1 spaces. So add one more double crochet and one more chain 1 space, and repeat the exact same pattern what we did for this beanie for that larger beanie as well. So now after round 6, we are not going to increase after this. We are just going to repeat making one V stitch around round 7 in each of these chain 1 spaces till we reach to round 15. So again, now I'm going to change colors. So just slip stitching in that chain 1 space, leaving that color, changing colors. And again starting with chain 4, 2, 3, 4. That's our first double crochet and chain 1 space. Now again make one double crochet in that same chain 1 space, making a V stitch. Now again in the next chain 1 space we make one V stitch, and in every chain 1 space for the entire round we make one V stitch in every chain 1 space, and I will meet you back when I'm at the end of this round. So here I'm at the end of round 7, and now you will go ahead and repeat round 7, that is making one V stitch in each of these chain 1 spaces all around the round till you reach round 15, and I will meet you back when I'm done with all my 15 rounds. So here I'm at the end of round 15, and I have 32 V stitches in total for round 15 like I had in round 7. So now you can continue with the same color yarn that you finished for round 15, or you can change colors, whichever you like. I'm going to continue with this green color yarn itself. So to begin round 16, you will start with chain 3. Now work a double crochet in this chain 1 space. And work a double crochet between these V stitches. So yarn over, put your hook in between these two V stitches like so, and make a double crochet. So for round 16, all you need to do is make a double crochet in this chain 1 space, and then make a double crochet in between the two V stitches. So now I'm going to make a double crochet in this chain 1 space next, and after I'm done with that, make a double crochet in between these two V stitches, this gap that you can see here. So make double crochets all across round 16, all around round 16, and I will meet you back when I'm at the end of round 16. So here I'm at the end of round 16 and I have 64 double crochets in total. So go ahead and count your stitches before we move ahead for round 17. So now to end round 16, we will slip stitch on top of this chain 3. Now for round 17, we will just chain 1, and chain 1 is not considered as a stitch. Now make a front post double crochet in that stitch just below that chain 1. So front post is yarning over, putting your hook behind that stitch that you want to make a front post in, like so, and then finishing your double crochet. Like that. Now in the next stitch, we need to make a back post double crochet, meaning yarning over, putting your hook from behind and pushing that stitch behind like so. You can see like that. Now pull up a loop and finish your double crochet. So that's a back post. Now again in the next stitch, we'll do a front post, means pushing it forward like so, and then pulling up a loop and finishing your double crochet. Now again in the next, we'll make a back post double crochet, like that. So for round 17, we'll continue making front post double crochets and back post double crochets, alternating in every stitch till we reach the end of this round, and I will meet you back when I'm at the end. So here I'm at the end of round 17 and I'm left with one more stitch, and I will make my last back post double crochet in that last stitch. So you will start with a front post double crochet and you should end with a back post double crochet for round 17. So go ahead and make your last back post. And then slip stitch on top of that front post that you made earlier, the first front post, to finish round 17. Now to begin round 18, again you will chain 1, not counting as a stitch, and then again you will front post wherever you see a front post, and you will back post wherever you see a back post. So this here, my first stitch is a front post, so again I will yarn over, insert my hook around that post that I had made, and make a front post again in that same stitch. Now here, as you can see, this was a back post, so now you will yarn over and insert your hook and push it behind, making a back post. So in the same way, just in the next one, as you can see, there's a front post, make a front post like so. Now in the next stitch, you have made a back post, so again make a back post in that same stitch. So continue with round 18 in the same manner, making front post for a front post and back post for a back post, and I will meet you back at the end of this round. So here I am at the end of round 18 and I just finished my last back post double crochet. Now I will just slip stitch on top of this front post that I had made to finish my round, like so. Now if you want a bigger brim, you can continue with round 18 for as long as you need to get your desired length of the brim, but for me this is enough for my beanie. So I will just cut off the yarn and weave in the ends, and I will be right back. So this is how our finished beanie looks like. This was the medium size and we had made 12 double crochets and chain 1 spaces in the first round itself, and then from the first round we continued increasing till round 6, and from round 7 we made the height of the beanie, and the last 3 rounds that I showed you, front pose and back pose, those were the brim. So this was a medium size, adult medium size, but if you want a larger size, like I had said before, you can make 13 double crochets and 13 chain 1 spaces for round 1 instead of 12, and you will get the larger size. So that was it for this video tutorial of the V-stitch beanie in 2 sizes, medium and large. If you have any questions regarding the size or anything, just leave a comment down below. And if you like the video tutorial, do like, share, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.